Hi everyone, my name is Hisham Abdallah. I'm a consultant paediatrician and quality improvement clinical lead at Walsall Healthcare. And with me today is Sam Dean, our play specialist on the paediatric ward, and Kuldeep Singh, who is head of patient engagement in the trust. And I'm going to be presenting to you an app that we developed within the department. But rather than telling you about it, I'm going to ask our patients and staff to tell you about it. And if this works, this is what they had to say.
They can prepare for, bringing their child in. They can prepare themselves as parents as well on what's going to be happening on the ward and what the ward looks like. They can see the staff as well, and a friendly bunch we are.
Well, for parents, it's quite good because you can explain to the parents if the child's a bit concerned about going for x-rays or imaging and things like that. For them, it's quite a big deal, so it's quite good to have there's a video section on it, so you can advise them and tell them to watch the videos, and that can sort of calm them down a little bit before they go for the procedure. I think personally for me, the guidelines bit I found the most useful, because when you're seeing a patient, just before you go see them, you can just check things. And if you're not sure about something in terms of management, you can just check it very quickly on your phone. It's also got things like the calendar, so you can have a look at what's going on for the day, teaching and things like that. So that's quite good for professionals.
I think it's really useful, especially if you've never been in the ward before, because there's information on there that you can read and look at. Because it's frequently asked questions and things, and then earlier Jack was looking at the games that was on there, the fidget spinner game.
So tell me about the fidget spinner game.
If you spin once, you get 1 coin. You spin like 200 times, you get 100 coins. Every time you spin, you get a coin.
Is it fun?
Yes.
Does it help being in hospital, having some games to play with?
Yes, so I'll be bored.
It's quite easy to use, it's quite easy to understand as well. Like the games and the music side of things is brilliant for children really, especially when they're bored in hospital, got something to play.
Before he went for his MRI, there's always a lot about MRIs being difficult for adults, let alone children. Watching the app, I didn't want to exaggerate anything, and I didn't want to not give him the right information. Going through the video on the app was able for us both to sit together, to watch it together, and also to make sure that I was giving him the right information. Because sometimes as a parent, this is going to happen, you don't know how long you're going to be in there. So the app was very informative. It made me fear that I wasn't making any empty promises to my child, that it's not going to be painful or it's going to be simple.
This app is evolving day to day, and we're adding and planning to add features like you can book your appointments to it, you can cancel or change appointments. We're looking at wayfinding features on it, and we're looking at adding something which you can use VR virtual reality tours, which kids can look at before they actually come into the hospital, what procedures they're going through. And also facilities like you can pay for the parking right from the app instead of someone being worrying about they have to pay for the parking. So these are the kind of features which are quite important from a patient experience perspective, and it enhances the patient's experience in the hospitals. For me, what's been quite critical and quite useful has been that in these difficult financial times that the NHS is in, the app and all the things that went along with it were done at a fraction of a commercial cost. So that's quite unique for us, and is very unique to this project of this particular app. So to sum it all, I would say basically is that it shows that if you want to do it, you can do it. And we have done it at Walsall Healthcare and Just Trust.
Okay. So far you might be thinking, okay, fine, an app, what's so special about that? There's lots of them, hundreds, thousands of them. Well, I think what's different about this app is perhaps not just the product, but the process by which we've gone through to develop it. And as you'll hear in the next few minutes, this is very much about an organic development of a product which is grounded in what we needed as service users, but also as staff within the department. And it started off, like all kind of good initiatives really, with patient experience. I was shadowing a patient, a young girl with asthma, and her mum through our department using a technique some of you may have come across called PFCC, which is Patient and Family Centred Care. And I remember introducing myself to the girl and her mum, and just saying, I'm Dr. Abdallah, but I'm here as a volunteer just to observe your patient journey today. And we got chatting, mum was a health visitor, had a bit of medical knowledge. And what I observed as we were sat there in the paediatric assessment unit was her the girls' saturations were dropping from 94 to 92 to 89 to 90%, and I'm thinking, oh, shucks, what do I do? On one hand, I'm a volunteer here, but on the other hand, I've got my GMC registration at stake, so it's kind of a bit of a tension. And I was also shocked that this was a patient deteriorating on my ward. And God knows how many other parents would have had that same stressful experience. I was asking Mum, so what are you thinking? She said, well, obviously I'm worried because the alarm's going off, but on the other hand, the staff outside, we can see them in the paediatric, on the nurses station just opposite where we were stood. They look really busy, and I'm not sure whether I should disturb them or not. And I kind of, as I said, it kind of shook me really that this stuff was happening on our ward, and I called in the nurse, and obviously we turned the oxygen up, and we had this discussion, myself, the sister, and the mum, and about what had happened and what we could do to prevent similar things happening to other parents, other families on our ward. And we came up with ideas. He probably gets a bit geeky, so I thought, okay, we need a high-tech kind of relay of all the monitors in the department to the nurses' station, which probably cost tens of thousands of pounds, and it would be great. And actually that wasn't going to work. And then so the mum said, all I needed really was someone to say that it was okay to ask for help. You know, that it was just really to empower me to say we could help. And so we put that idea to the test. We thought, okay, there and then, let's just get a piece of information into the folders in each of those bays to say, you know, if you're worried about your child, do not hesitate to pull the alarm cord or ask a member of staff for help. But then we thought about all the other questions that parents might have that remain unanswered every time they have one of those patient journeys. We thought, okay, let's see if we can use a device to try to implement this to help empower and better inform children, their families when they come in. And also, as you'll see later, how to develop to make it easier for staff to deliver the right care. The other thing that's remarkable about this is, as Coldeep said, it was run on a shoestring really. I mean, I don't know if any of you tried to develop apps, but if you get them outsourced, they'll cost £10,000–15,000 minimum really. And this was done on a few £100s. It was if you ask me the question later, I can show you how we did it. on an app machine, which is an online web-based application to develop apps, and it cost a few £100 plus a little bit of money for the App Store and the Google Play. So it was really cheap. But actually, we also put the power or the control in the hands of us, the kind of front-facing staff, to engage with parents and families as to what they wanted to use. So the final product is very much based on our needs and what it needed to happen for care to be delivered in a safer, better experiential way. And it also gives us the agility to change things from day to day. It was co-produced between patients and parents, as well as staff. The patient experience team you can see here today, comms team, and the wider clinical team all were involved in this. And as you'll see on the app, there's loads of little features which have all come from requests from patients and staff. So, for example, the FAQ section was all based on questions that parents wanted to know. Things that I hadn't expected, like, where do I go? What should I bring with me to the ward? Or how do I contact the ward? So there's a phone function on that. Lots of other features, probably 50 or so features, all of which have been derived from parents and children. Other resources on there includes links to things that the family thought were important. The analytics on the app is also very helpful. So you can see there the number of downloads on a week-by-week basis, and it's quite nice to get them. It went out on Twitter a few days ago, and there's downloads all over the world actually, which was kind of like to put us on the map, as well as an understanding as to which blocks or which parts of the app are the most useful. And as you're hearing there, the app continues to be in development. That agility of the platform means we can continue to make changes on a day-by-day, minute-by-minute basis. Okay, so any questions?